On to class. So last class we had discussed about a few what is right. Architecture, that is Kubernetes architecture. What are the main components, and master? What are the main components in worker node as well? And also we see right how to set up. So if you want to set up Kubernetes and all, there is multiple ways. We can use the EKS, AWS. There is one default service available. AWS people they are providing one service EKS. We can use EKS, or we can use Kubernetes desktop, that is GUI level. So mini kube. So there is multiple ways we can install the Kubernetes and all. And last class we'll see right. This is a lab, and so if we have proper internet, if we have good right memory and all, that only it will work. Now we will see a different way how to set up and all. Now these are the free requisites. So there is a control plane. Control plane is nothing but a master, right? Control plane is nothing but master. And what are the inbound rules? Which port number? Kubernetes API server purpose 6443. It is using so the port number is 6443, and also etcd. It is using 2379. So all port numbers in range between 0 to 65,535, right? And already in AWS, if you go to subnet, if you click on add inbound rules or outbound rules, if you click on, so there it will show that port range. So in between 0 to 65,535, we can give any number. And so kubelet API, kubelet API server, it is using 10250, and scheduler 10251, and controller 10253. So these are, but no one is asking, just remember. So internally, it every right. So every pod it is using some specific port range and all. These are worker nodes and all. Mostly it is using 10250, and this is the kubelet API 10250, and remaining node ports and all. It is using so 30,000, 32,767. In between, but dynamically it is coming one number. Already last class also we see, if you go that external after next column, there is a one right port number and all. So there we can see 80 colon 32,762 some range, right? Some 9 and all. So that numbers it is a port range, it will come 30. This all node port numbers it is coming from in between 32,000 30,000 to 32,000 767 only. Anyway, we'll see multiple times this number, and these are the some port numbers, all so for default parts it is running. Now if you go here, now if you go here, there is many objects available in Kubernetes. There is many objects. This is also very, very important. Enter also most of the people they are asking. If we come to Docker, right, what is Docker client, what is Docker daemon, Docker image, Docker container, registry, right? Same way, if we come to here, here Kubernetes objects. See here, Kubernetes objects are persistent entities in the Kubernetes systems. Someone is mute, please. Okay, in Kubernetes system, Kubernetes uses these entities to represent the state of the your cluster. So here there is many objects available. There is many objects available, and every object persisting in entity. So whatever we are, right, based on requirement, we are creating one entity in Kubernetes system. That and all, it is running in our Kubernetes cluster. In Kubernetes object is the record of intent. That once you created an object, Kubernetes system will constantly work to ensure that object is existing. That object is existing. Now, yesterday also we created one Nginx pod. So how it will run up to that pod is exist. Up to that pod is exist, we can consistently work to ensure that pod is existing. To work with Kubernetes objects, whether you create, modify, delete them, you need to use the Kubernetes API. So yesterday just I created. So mostly to work with Kubernetes objects, mostly we are going to create or modify. If we have existing, we can going to modify. Or if we don't want, we are going to delete. Or newly, if you want to create any resource, Kubernetes object, mostly we are using create. If you want to, we can create. Already, if we have that objects, we can modify. If you don't want that objects, we can delete them also. We can delete them also. you will need to use the Kubernetes API. So this and all, with the help of Kubernetes API, it is all are executing. And when you use the kubectl command, right, what is kubectl? This is the command line. Whatever we are executing command, all are executing via kubectl command to line interface between your also command to your master. So CLI makes the necessary Kubernetes API call for you. So these are the mostly we are using yesterday also we seen, right? Kubelet. What is kubelet? What is kubectl? What is kube proxy? Already you know some idea. Now this is the CLI, or we can execute via GUI also. GUI, graphical user interface. And most of the commands we are executing CLI only. That is the CTL, kubelet CTL, CLI, command line interface. If you go here, two ways we can send request, right? Whether we can send request to kubectl or whether we can send request GUI also, UI level also, user interface, graphical user interface. This is the CLI, command line interface. So kubectl. Okay, these are the main components. Already you know what are the main components in worker nodes also. Now, so if you go here, there is many objects available here. There is a parts, replication controller, replica set, daemon set, deployment object, service object, and values, jobs. These are the some of the default objects available in Kubernetes. Okay. Not only this, the basic Kubernetes objects. These are the basic Kubernetes objects. Mostly, we are going to create, we are going to run these objects. Apart from this, there is many objects available. Those are that is based on requirement. So we can create, we can modify, we can delete whatever we need. Already just we seen, right? So whatever we need based on this, if you want to, we can create. Already, if we have that object, we are going to modify. If you want to delete that object, we can delete that object also. So we can whether we can create, modify, or delete whatever. But these are the some of the basic new terminology. Try to understand, try to digest. And so pods, what is pod? Already know pod is nothing but this is the smallest runtime instance to run your application. And already see, right? Pod is the smallest building block or basic unit of scheduling in Kubernetes. Whatever definition just remember. That's it. So interview also most of the people asked what is pod. Pod is nothing but this is the smallest building block to run your application, or this is the smallest instance to run your application, or this is the basic unit of scheduling in Kubernetes. So just remember anything. Now if you go here, this is a pod. Now there is a replication controller. This is also an object. Replica set. This is also an object. Daemon set. This is also an object. Deployment, service, volume. Next, secrets, config map. So there is many objects available in Kubernetes, and with the help of these objects, we are going to create your actual Kubernetes resources and all. Your actual Kubernetes resources. There is a namespace also is there. There is a namespace. Now, yesterday right how to set up that K8s4, and today we'll see so Docker desktop. So Docker desktop is this is also like mini cube, and so first we need to install the Docker desktop. Whether we can install Windows machine or if we have Linux also we can install. So first we need to download the Docker desktop software. This is a exe file only. So if you go and search Google, directly it will come exe file. See, download. So Docker desktop. So if you search here, download Docker desktop for Windows. Okay. Now see here, install Docker desktop for on Windows or whatever you want, we can use. So see here, this is the official only, and install Docker engine, whatever you want. I need Docker desktop, right? Click on this, and install Docker desktop on Windows machines. And there is a prerequisites. So we need what is this? See here, if you want to install Docker desktop in our machine, at least you need a 4 GB RAM, at least minimum 4 GB RAM, and also 64-bit operating system. We need to install 64-bit operating system and enable hardware virtualization on BIOS level. So right, what is basic input output system? If you click on BIOS while restarting your machine, if you type F2 something, it will go to BIOS. So there we need to check whether this hardware is enabled, virtualization is enabled or not. It is checking. These are the prerequisites. So these are the prerequisites. Otherwise, it won't work. See, already they given. So WSL, Windows System something support Linux. Let me I forgot definition. WSL. WSL. Okay. So WSL means Windows subsystem for Linux. So what is this? This is also one feature we need to install in Windows. Windows subsystem for Linux is a feature for Windows that allows to run a Linux environment on your Windows machine. So now we are installing Docker desktop Windows, right? And mostly we are connecting via CLI only, command line, kubectl only. So if you want to connect, if you want to execute, see Linux environment, this is the feature. WSL is the one type of feature. And first we need to install. What is this? Windows that allows to run Linux environment on our Windows machine. Actually, we are executing each and everything Linux Windows only. And the internally it is maintaining a Linux environment. See here, to turn on Linux environment on your Windows machine. So without the need for separate virtual machines. What is the purpose of this WSL? So generally, we are running each and everything VM machines, right? Linux machines. Right now, I don't want Linux machine. I am not going to install any VM machines, but my machine act as like Linux environment. So for that, we need to install this is also just enable only. By default, if we install Windows 64-bit operating system and all, by default it is available. In case if it is not available, it is not enabled in our machine. So we should enable this option in our machine. That's it. Okay, WSL. So it will create allows to turn on Windows Linux environment on our Windows machines without separately install virtual machines. That's it. Okay, so these are the prerequisites. We can easily understand. Go through this one. We can easily understand. And if you want to download, just click on this download option. So where is that Windows installation? See here, install. First we need to, it will download this exe file. Yesterday already we downloaded, right? See here, if you go to download, so yesterday we downloaded, right? See, this is the Docker desktop exe. See here, this is the current version is 4.27, 4.27, 4.27, 1.0. This is the I downloaded. Just double click on it. It will take time, at least 15 to 20 minutes, and also it will installing all these necessary packages and all, and make sure that we have sufficient configuration in our machine. Otherwise, it won't install. Now in my machine already I installed. Once that is done, next we need to install the kubectl also. How to install kubectl? That is the AWS CLI also we need to install. AWS CLI. These are the mandatory install in Windows Machine. So just copy and paste it. Apart from this, no need to do anything. All are just copy and paste it. No need to remember. So Windows Machine. So if you want to install Windows Machine, AWS CLI, I need to connect with my all resources, right? So this is see here. This is the commands. Just copy and paste it. That's apart from this, no need to do anything. Okay. So see here. This are. Apart from this, to upgrade your current version of AWS in a Windows machine, download new install each time you update overwrite previous version. AWS CLS is the updated regularly. We can see these are the 64-bit versions. Just copy and paste it. These are. And also we need to install kubectl also. This is also we need to install kubectl. Otherwise it won't work, right? Kubectl installation Windows. Windows Mission, how to install. This is also just click on this, and so they will give some commands. This and all. That's it. So they are giving some commands. Just copy and paste it. Apart from this, no need to do anything. So first install Docker desktop and install AWS CLI and kubectl also. In my mission already everything done. And see here, first time just click on this every day. So see here, if you want to work with, first click on this and click on this. And so if you go here somewhere, see here, this is a container. This is entire GUI, not CLI. This is total GUI related. See here, images. What are the images available? What are the values I created? So now we can see. Now if you want to install any extensions and all, we can install this extension. See here, check marks, whatever you want, extra plugins and all, extra extensions and all. So that is supported JMeter, that is supported whatever you want. See here, this is a VS Code for web. And see here, Kafka, Container Watch, Redis, Enterprise, whichever you want, Selenium. I want to work with Selenium also, we can install. These are the extensions. Now if you go here, containers, if you go down, there is one option. See here, this is the Docker symbol, right? Whether it is running or not. If it is showing green means it is running only. Now, first time, if you open this, so how to enable, so Kubernetes also. Now, if you go to here, there is one option it will show. This is right gear symbol, gear. If you go to settings, if you go to settings, right side top after sign in, left side sign in button. Okay. If you go here settings, and so here we can see this is the general by default all options, no need to do anything, no need to enable everything, no need to enable anything. And if you go to here resources, so these are the default resources. This is the Docker engine, this is the Docker engine already is running. We are using version 23.0. This is the Docker we are using 23. And Docker desktop we are using 4. I think which version we are using, 4.27, right? Which version we are using? Feature development, current, where we can see somewhere general, I think we can see. I think 4.27 we can say. Now anyway, we'll see. We can see here. Now see here. You are currently on version. Which version? Not 4.19. My Docker desktop version is 4.19. Better to download this version only. So better to download. So Docker version. It will work everything fine. Clear, Karthik? So please, if you want to set up, I'm pinging chat box. Docker desktop, Docker desktop 4.19. Currently, I'm using 4.19. So if you want to, we can download higher version also. Sometimes it won't work. Better to download also 4.19. I also using, and the latest version is 4.27. So the latest version is available 4.27. And currently I am using 4.19. Currently I am using 4.19. Currently I am using 4.19. Okay. Now if you click on Kubernetes, see here Kubernetes. Now see here I am using V1.25. So which is the latest version Kubernetes? V1.29. V1. Yesterday we discussed, right? So interview also maybe one or two people they asked which Kubernetes versions currently you are using. So mostly I am saying 1.24. So currently we are using 1.25. Here we are using V1.25. Okay. So Kubernetes version I am using 1.25 and latest version is 1.29. And so if you click on here, just here it will come start. That's it. Anyway, here if you see here, this is the Kubernetes service symbol. See here, Kubernetes also running. Now observe here, Kubernetes also running, green. Docker also running. Okay, both are running. First time we need to enable start this service. That's it. Okay. So if it is not running, we need to enable Kubernetes service. That's it. Apart from this, no need to do anything. So first we need to do, first once Docker desktop is installed, we need to install Docker CLI and so AWS CLI and Kubelet also. AWS CLI, Kubelet we need to install both in your mission. Now if you go anywhere, that is your mission. For example, I am going to somewhere. Every day I am executing commands under one particular place. Go to here, go to users, here HP. I am going to create. Okay. K8s, K8s underscore, K8s underscore. Just I'm giving for my understanding purpose. Now go to here, click on CMD, click on CMD. Now see here in my mission AWS also available. See here AWS and AWS and also kubelet. If you want to check anything, now see here CLS, clear the screen, kubectl, get pod, get nodes. If you see here kubectl, get nodes. Now we can see only one. This is a mini cube. This is a mini cube. Right now I have only Docker desktop ready control plane. Control plane means nothing but this is a worker node or a master. Karthik, control plane. This is a master or worker node. Now we can easily understand based on this name. I got it. So see here, this is the master only. This is a mini cube, right? So my this part is running master as well as worker node both. It is working everything. So whichever we created here and everything were running only same instance and same there is only one node available. This node all my work all my so whatever resource we am going to create everything we can check here. Now if we go to here, clear Karthik, any doubt here? So this is setup panel. So what we need to do first we need to install the Docker desktop and also we need to install the what is this kubelet kubectl and also AWS CLI AWS CLI and so AWS CLI connect with your resources and all and if you want to execute so commands and all we need to install kubectl also. So now wherever you go, any path, just to go to here, just type whether you can see. Now see here, kubectl, 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 get parts, control plus plus, kubectl, get parts. Do you have any parts? Right now I don't have any parts. Now see here, kubectl, get get SVC, service objects. So do you have any service? This is the default service, Kubernetes master related. And see here, cluster I, this is the default one. So no need to do anything. Yes, 50 days ago I created. 50 days ago I installed this Docker desktop and all. Nearly 1.5 months back I set up all these things. Okay, now you can see the age also. Age means when I installed. When I installed, this is the 50 days ago I installed and this is the same. Now, if you go here, now there is many Kubernetes objects available. You know, right? So that this is the default objects. There is many basic objects available. So there is many basic objects available. So now we are going to see one by one. Now we are going to discuss one by one objects. Now you know, right? What is parts? What is pod? What is pod? And also deployment object. Deployment. This is also one object. Next, replication controller. Replication controller. Replication controller. Replication controller. Next, replica set. Replica set. Replica set. Next, deploy. Next, daemon object. Next, what is this? Next, stateful set. State daemon. These are whatever we discussed, just I am highlighting here, right? So what is replication controller, replica set, daemon set, deployment object, service object. These all are the some of basic objects available. Daemon set and also service object and also we can see secrets, config map. Next, namespace. Next, these are the some of basics what a daemon set replication sensor. Now we are going to discuss so one by one how to create and how to execute these objects and all. Clear, Karthik? Anyone any doubt here? Hello? Am I audible or not?
No doubt.
Okay. Now, so first we'll say I'm go through this document. I'll share this one, right? Just there is one object is that Kubernetes objects. So we'll see what is namespace. So namespace is nothing but you know, right? You think a namespace is a virtual cluster inside your Kubernetes cluster. This is my cluster. Now see here. This is my cluster. Now this is my cluster. So if you want to check, so kubectl get ns. Ns is nothing but namespace. See, these are the default. These are the sum of namespaces. Default namespace, cube node release namespace, cube public namespace, cube hyphen system namespace, and these are the my namespaces. Okay, these are the I created. So this is a test. These are I created namespaces. That is here. If you see here, 1, 2, 2, these are the default namespaces. So these are the default namespace. What is namespace? Interview also many people are asking, what is namespace? Namespace is nothing but this is the virtual cluster inside your Kubernetes cluster. Inside your Kubernetes cluster. Now, so if you go here, now see here, this is my organization. So organization means, so just assume this is our organization, this is our organization, and so there is many projects running, right? This is the organization, many projects running here, many projects running here. And now I have, this is ORG, this is the ORG organization. So here multiple projects we are handling, multiple projects we are handling multiple multiple projects we are running, right? We are handling multiple projects. Now this is the organization we are maintaining. So we have Kubernetes cluster and all, and so these are the default namespaces. So these are the default namespaces. These are the default. Default is one namespace, and cube hyphen node hyphen release is one namespace. Cube hyphen public is one namespace. Cube hyphen system is the namespace. First, see here, if you observe here, these are the namespace. See here, if anyone is asking, this is a virtual cluster inside your Kubernetes cluster. You can have multiple namespaces inside single Kubernetes cluster. Now this is my cluster. Here, if I want to, I can create multiple namespaces also. Based on my requirement, I can create multiple namespaces. Multiple namespaces. See here, and they are all logical isolated from each other. How these are connecting? All are so, and they are all logically isolated from each other, and they can help you and your team with organization, security purpose, even performance purpose. We are going to create namespaces. So by default, there is three namespaces. Default namespace, cube hyphen system namespace, cube hyphen public namespace. What is default? It is the deployments that are not given namespace. If you are not mentioning any namespace, by default, you are all objects creating under the default namespace only. This is a quick way to create a mashup that will be hard to clean up you do. So now this just assume this is the default namespace. I have multiple projects, right? If I create any resource, Kubernetes resource here, all are deploying which namespace? Default namespace only. Let's assume this is your namespace. This is your namespace, default namespace. If you are not mentioning anything, all your applications running here default namespace only. Now got it? Now, why you go for this is the default namespace. 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 Suppose if you are not mentioning, I created one AWS resource, Kubernetes resource. For example, if you create one pod, if you create one pod, so that pod by default it is running here only. It is running here only. Default namespace. For example, here multiple projects, right? If all projects running same place means there is a performance problem, there is a confusion. Maybe I can execute your parts, maybe I can delete your parts, I can disturb your project and all, right? So that is the reason what we are going to do. We are going to create multiple namespaces, and based on that, we are going to deploy your project particular resource only in real time. So now see here, this is the ABC project. ABC project parts and all I am going to deploy here only. Just assume. So this just assume this is the CRM project, and this is the CRM project. This is the .NET project or Java project. This is the Java. I have I have one namespace Java related. I have one namespace for CRM. CRM related applications and all I am going to deploy here only. I am going to deploy here only. Now see here how can handle all Java related projects. I am going to deploy Java here only. .NET related projects, I am going to deploy that particular namespace only. Now you know, right? So there is no confusion. And also see here, you can help on your team and organization security. The main thing is security. See here. So these people, this part cannot connect with CRM, and these people they cannot access this parts. And CRM people they cannot access this Java projects. So the main thing is security. All are in different namespace, right? All are in different namespaces. So we cannot access directly. We are going to provide some security. Or else if we deploy all projects in same namespace means everyone can access your projects. Everyone can see your projects. Everyone can see modify. Maybe unfortunately they deleted, modify, create, whatever they can do something, right? So to avoid this situation, to avoid this situation, so we are going to real time 100% we are maintaining namespaces. So if our project related all resources we are going to create only particular namespace. We are not going to create a default namespace. So that case we should go for a namespace. See here, namespace is the virtual cluster inside your Kubernetes cluster. This is my cluster. This is my cluster, entire cluster, Kubernetes cluster. Inside cluster, we are going to create multiple namespaces. This is the virtual cluster. This is the virtual cluster inside your Kubernetes cluster. Now, if you observe, so just if you think this is the Kubernetes cluster, this is the Kubernetes cluster, your K8s cluster. So this is your cluster. This is your cluster. Inside cluster, we are going to create multiple clusters. That is K8s is nothing but the simply shortcut we are calling K8s. That is nothing but Kubernetes. You know, right? How many characters in Kubernetes? In KS between we can see 8 characters. 8 characters. That is the reason shortcut they are calling most of the times K8s. Someone who is calling K8s, and if you want to call full form Kubernetes. Full form is Kubernetes. Now see here. Now this is the namespace. Virtual. This is the virtual cluster inside your Kubernetes cluster. This is the your entire Kubernetes cluster. This is the virtual. This is the virtual cluster. This is the VC virtual cluster. This is also virtual cluster. We can create multiple clusters. Here no ambiguity. There is no confusion. Now got it? Clear, Karthik? So and also main thing is security. Main thing is security. So here my project is running. So these people they cannot access directly my Java projects. And this is my Java people. They cannot access directly my Salesforce applications parts. Got it, Karthik? Any doubt here? Clear. Now see here. So they can help you and your team to organize security and even performance also. Instead of running all applications single namespace, we are going to create multiple namespace and so based on so we are going to deploy our objects in particular namespace only. Now, if you observe here, what is default? So default is the deployment that is not given namespace. Suppose if you are not mentioning any namespace, your all pods, your all AWS Kubernetes resources are creating under the default namespace only, which can be quickly way to create and mess that will hard to clean up if you have too many deployments under this same namespace. What is the kube system? There is one more namespace is for all things related to the Kubernetes systems. This is used by Kubernetes systems. Any deployment to the namespace are deploying dangerous game. So we are not going to deploy anything in this particular namespace. There is a kube public. This is readable by everyone, but this namespace is reserved for only system usage. Only system usage. Kube public is used by system usage only, but kube system is this is related to Kubernetes system only. We are not going to create any parts. We are not going to reply anything here. And if you are not mentioning anything, by default, all your so Kubernetes resources created under the default namespace only. Default namespace only. Now got it, Karthik? Now, how to create using namespace for isolation? See, I have used namespace for isolation in the couple of ways. I use them most of from the split many users project into the separate environment. So if you observe here, this is like one environment. This is the CRM environment. This is the Java project environment. If I create one more namespace, this is I'm going to assign some other projects. Some I'm going to assign some other projects. So like this, we can create multiple namespaces and we can assign to that particular projects only. Now, if you want to check it, this is the command kubectl get namespace. If you use this command, see here kubectl kubectl get kubectl get namespace. This is the full name namespace. Now see here, these are the namespaces. These are the namespaces. If you want to create, this is a command kubectl test namespace and namespace name. You know, right, how we are creating Docker volumes how we are creating Docker, right? So Docker network, same. We are using, right? Docker network, create, Docker create, we are same. Here also, instead of Docker, we are using kubectl. We are using kubectl, kubectl, create, kubectl. See here, create, namespace, and namespace name. For example, here I am using, here I am using, I am going to use Java, whatever you want, Java or CRM, just already created, right? CRM, namespace, NS, CRM, NS, CRM, NS. Now see here, this is the command, kubectl, create, namespace, and namespace name. If we give like invalid, we need to give, remove this ns created. Okay, now see here, cls kubectl, get ns, kubectl, get ns or namespace. Now see here, so crm is created or not? See here, what is the active state as also active, and age also 13 seconds ago. Now if you observe same command, see 23 seconds ago. Now it is counting age also. It is counting age also. It is counting. So how to create? So the only one command. If you want to check namespaces and all, if you want to check namespaces and all, this is the command. kubectl get ns or namespace. We can give anything. Now see here, kubectl get ns namespace. And if you want to create any namespace, if you want to create any namespace, kubectl, kubectl create ns or namespace, and I'm using, for example, I'm giving Karthik. Now see here, Karthik is created. Now check it, kubectl, get ns. Now see here, created or not? Where is that? Karthik. See, 60 seconds, sorry, 6 seconds ago. So 6 seconds ago it is created. This is the created. Clear, Karthik? Any doubt here? So what is namespace? Namespace is nothing but this is the virtual cluster. This is the virtual cluster inside your Kubernetes cluster. That's it. And so these are the default namespaces. Default, kube system, kube public, and these are the default namespaces. If you are not mentioning any namespace, all Kubernetes resources creating under default namespace only. Now, if you want to check it, we can check it. If you want to create, we can create it. Whatever. If you want to delete, we can delete also. So, if you want to, we can delete, we can delete also. Now, already last class we seen. Clear, Karthik? Any doubt here?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. Now, you know what is pod, Now I want to create one pod. Now I want to create one pod. Now I want to create one pod. So what is pod, And so inside pod, what we can see and how to write. So that and all I will see. Now, if you want to check all pods in our cluster, if you want to check all pods in our cluster, this is a command. Keep seated, get pods. If you, this is the command, no resource found in default namespace. So right now, which namespace you are in? Default namespace. If you are not mentioning any namespace, you are in same namespace. What is the namespace? kubectl, get ns. Now see here, kubectl get parts hyphen n, my namespace name. Now see here. See no resource found under the Karthik namespace also. So just I created one namespace. Did I deploy any Kubernetes resources, Kubernetes object? No, right? As of now, we didn't create anything. We didn't create anything. Okay. Now, if you go here, slowly we'll see how to create and all. Now, if you want to create any pod, if you want to create any pod, now see here. So this is the syntax. First we need to follow. This is the indentation and all. Right? In Ansible also we are following. So we are following YML format. Same way, so there is two ways we can create. There is two ways we can create Kubernetes objects here. One is we can create YML file, or directly we can create a single line command also. We can create single line commands also. Single line command also. One second. Now, so see, this is the two ways we can create. This is the YML format. This is the APM. This is the indentation and all we need to follow. So, I'll first try to understand. Suppose first time, right? You don't know how to create one Kubernetes. So, I want to create one pod. I want to deploy. I want to check that results and all. So, if you go to Google, just everything already they are providing example with example, and so Kubernetes pod example. If you type means, so we'll get many examples. Now see here, what is pod? Now see, pod are the smallest deployable unit of computing that you can create and manage in Kubernetes. What is the pod? Pod are the smallest deployable unit of computing that you can create and manage in Kubernetes. Now, what is she? A group of one or more containers. So a pod may be single container pod or multi-container pod. So if you want to see here one or more containers with shared storage and network resources and specific for how run the containers. Pod is contents are always co-located and co-scheduled to run in the shared context. Now, if you go here, this is the context alert. Now, this is the syntax. See here, using pod. The following example pod, which consists of a container running image, nginx image. So, this is the pod. This is the syntax. This is the syntax. See here, API version. What is the API version? V1. And what is the kind? Kind equal to Kubernetes resource name. What object you want to create? Pod, I want to create metadata. Metadata means we can give any name caller, we can give some name, we can give some name. And spec, this is spec is nothing but specification. Spec is nothing but specification. Spec is nothing but, right now just assume you don't know anything. Copy this one, copy this one, go to here, copy this one, go to here, create one name. Notepad, for example, pod nginx or nginx pod dot yml. Extension should be yml. So you know, right, what is YML? Already in so Ansible also Sir explained what is YML, why you go for YML. So here we need to follow some indentation and all. Indentation and all. Yes, just copy and paste it. Now see here, this is the API version V1 and kind equal to pod. Suppose if you want to create a deployment object, we need to type here deployment. And suppose if you want to create a daemon set object, here we need to create a daemon only. Daemon set. Suppose if you want to create a replication controller, here we are using replication controller. That's it. The kind is nothing but AWS resource name, sorry, Kubernetes resource name. Okay, what type of object you want. So whether you want to pod or deployment or whatever you want, namespace or secret or config or daemon set, whatever you want. So right now I need only pod. I am going to create pod and metadata. Metadata is nothing but so this is the name. We can give one name to this file. So whatever we want we can give here. Here I am giving nginx and this is a specification. This is a container section. So container section. See containers under container. This is the container name. Hyphen name equal to nginx. We can give any name. ABC or XYZ or your name. So whatever. But in we are giving also some meaningful name only. We are giving some meaningful name only. Name equal to nginx. We can give anything, guys. This is optional. We can give any name. Here also we can give any name. This is nothing but image name. This is coming from image name. We have to give proper name only. Don't give anything, whatever. Okay. Whichever image versions available, that name. And this is the ports, container port. What is the default port number nginx server? You know, right? What is the default port number for nginx server? 80. Tomcat server default port number, 8080. Jenkins server default port number, Karthik. Nginx server default port number 80. Tomcat server default port number, Jenkins server default port number, HTTP server default port number. Already right, some servers. So this is the containers means this is your container port number. See, so ports colon hyphen container port 80. Now, how to run? So just I'm showing how to copy. If you don't know anything, how to write it. So just how to create and how to run and all, just I'm showing. Control S save. That's it. Close it. Now go to here, and how to run. So now see here, DAR. This is the file. This is my file name, YML. Extension should be YAML or YML. In same in Ansible also we are creating right YML files. Same here extension should be YML, and here we need to follow that syntax and all. We need to follow indentation. We need to follow indentation. Now my file is ready. See here, cat space here not Linux, right? This is the CLS. Okay. So this is not Linux. It won't work cat and all. Directly open notepad only. Now if you want to run this file, this is my file, YML file. So I created one object. I created one file. So my file is ready. Now how to run this file? So this is the command kubectl kubectl kubectl, and if you give hyphen help, we can see many commands. See here, we can see many commands. We can see now if you go top, so there we can see some commands: create, expose, run. Somewhere we can see apply also. See here advanced commands. Apply means apply is a configuration to resource by file name or SDL, and so you can create this one also, we can use it. Create also. Create a resource from a file. Create a resource from a file. We'll see later what is difference between create and apply. Now I'm using same command only. kubectl cls kubectl apply, or we can use create also. Okay, first time we can, anyway I'm using apply and hyphen f. What is the file name? Nginx pod. What is my file name? Nginx hyphen pod.yml. Nginx hyphen pod.yml. So kubectl apply. This is the syntax, guys. Up to this is the syntax only. We have to remember file name should be changed. We can change this file name anytime. Now see here. So pod is created. See here pod. What is the pod name? Nginx created. How to check whether this pod is created or not? How to check whether this pod is running or not? How to check this and all? Now we'll see. kubectl get pods. See here, if you use, now see here, one pod is running. One pod is running. What is your pod name? Nginx. I given this name, right? And ready one by one. This is the multi-container pod or single container pod. Karthik, this is the multi-container pod or single container pod. This is the single container pod
Single.
only. Only one container is running my pod. Now status is running. Restart. As of now, my pod is not restarted. Age 19 seconds ago it was created. Now see here 24 seconds. Now this is the pod. This is the pod, right? This is the pod. kubectl. What is the command? kubectl get pod. kubectl get pod. Now suppose I want to know something about there is a one more command also is there. So now check it. kubectl 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 get svc. Do you have any service? So here default services, this is the Kubernetes master only. This is the Kubernetes master only. Just pod is created. I want to know something about pod. This is the command kubectl. Same Docker we are using, right? kubectl describe and pod name. What is your pod name? What is your pod name? Nginx. Nginx. Now see here, what is your pod name? Describe. Right? In Docker also we are using Docker describe container ID. Same way, kubectl describe pod name. kubectl describe pod name. Okay. Now, if you observe here, what is the name of your pod NGINX? What is the namespace here, Karthik? If you are not mentioning any namespace, by default, your all Kubernetes resources created under which namespace? Which namespace it is created? Default namespaces. Which namespace? Right now we didn't create anything. Okay, I didn't mention any namespace. So that is the reason my pod created under the default namespace only. We'll see later how to create a particular namespace, how to run particular namespace. Okay. Now priority 0, service account default only, and node. This is the default node. What is the IP of your node and all? Start time, labels, and status is running. What is the IP of this pod? Observe here. 10.1.1.64. This is my pod. This is my pod IP. Every pod has one unique IP address, right? Already you know. See here, every pod has one unique. Each pod has its own, its unique IP address within the cluster. Now got it this point? See, each pod has its own unique IP address within the cluster. Now this is my pod. My pod has one IP address. This IP should be unique. Now got it? Now see here, this is the IP. Now this is the image ID. This is the image and this is the port. What is the port here? 80 and status running. Now see here where it is mount point. Variable run secrets Kubernetes. This is the mount point and all. We'll see later. And this is the config mag namespace. This is default certification only. And so now if you go here, type schedule successfully assigned default nginx and also container image already present in our machine and also create the created container nginx and started container nginx. Now got it? Clear, Karthik? Any doubt as of now?
No, sir.
Okay, so these are the same. Now we know how to create. So now we know what you know. So now just I copied and pasted only. Coming classes we will write how to write YML file and all. So this is the default. Just I created one nginx. Just I created one nginx. Suppose if you want to see all resources, what is the command? You know, right? Kubectl get all. If you type here, now we can see all resources. Now it is running only one pod and the default service is running. And apart from this, I don't have any resource. I didn't create any resource. I didn't create any resource. Now see here, this is. Now got it? So this is the, now if you want to see, notepad, notepad, nginx pod. Now this is the API version. Just I copied and pasted one, right? We'll see. Here also we can understand already what is API version and kind equal to pod, metadata, label name. I did add label name and all. Just added the command. And how to execute this command? This is the command. kubectl apply -f and pod -f pod name -f pod name. Okay. I'll share this document. Just to go through this document and read if you have time 1 or 2 times and try to create a first setup. Try to create a setup, Kubernetes setup and all. Whether what where is you are comfortable, what is your system configuration based on this. First try to set up. Next, just to try to create one pod. Anything that is just now for understanding purpose. I created one pod only. Okay. Now, once pod is created and how to check that description also and how to check that status also. And if you have, you can check everything. Clear, Karthik?